give me 1 second, Mr. Wood.
Sure. I'll read my notes here while you're working.
All right, sounds good. All right, just to go over the proceedings, you have 45 seconds for your opening statement, 90 seconds to respond to each question. Then you have 45 seconds for your closing statement. And Mr. Flincham will be giving you the clock. He'll have 15 seconds, and then he'll have the stop to let you know where we're at. And with that being said, you have 45 seconds for your opening statement, sir.
Ready, set, go.
That's right.
All right, can you hear me okay? Yep. All right, thank you, Jamal, and thank you, Tim, and for all your staff here for having this meeting together, and thank all of y'all for attending as well. Someone asked me, Steve, why are you doing this? And my response was, that is, why are you running for the school board? My response was, they say there are three kinds of people in the world. Those who make things happen, those who watch what happens, and those who sit around and wonder what just happened. I've been married we're working on 48 years to my wife. We've had 2 children to go through the system here. I'm a graduate of the system here from Old Richmond and North Forsyth. I served from 1985 to 2005 in the North Carolina State Legislature. 2 of those as chairman of the House Education Committee, and 1 of those as the Speaker Pro Tem of the North Carolina House. And my dad was a 3rd grade dropout.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Wood. Now,
Can I ask you something?
Yeah, sure, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Since I served,
Yeah, you can use mine for right now.
testing one here. Try that, yeah.
Hit the on button.
Test,
How's
test,
that?
test.
How's that?
You want to talk real loud, Steve, that's all.
Okay, I can talk a little louder if I have to. I can do that.
Test, test,
Those folks that have spoken before, whether it's Susan or Tracy or Bob or any of the others, I could say, for those who have spoken before, I could say ditto, 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 ditto. So Jamal, can I ask you if I could vary a little bit from what from the question and give you a little bit of a break?
well, sure. Yeah, make it quick.
I'll just, I brought some notes with me. One of the questions was about the budget. This is one thing that I've always said: if your outgo exceeds your income, your upkeep will be your downfall. On the budget situation that that the school board has faced, and I'm not here to defend this current incumbent board, but I am here to do something. 1 or 2 things. The boards from two boards that preceded us on the school board on the budget situation, they've swept things under the rug. You can't see this rug here, but they've just swept things under the rug. Some of the candidates that are running have said, let's throw all the bums out. Let's throw all 9 of them out. You're getting rid of a lot of great experience if you do that, with Susan and Robert and others. I'm here to clear the air, and I'm going to spray a little bit of this Lysol disinfectant here, because you either accept what the auditor, the state auditor, who is a Republican, by the way, you either accept what he said, or you listen to what the editor of the paper says. If you accept what the auditor said this. He said that if we'd have had a little more time, we'd have gone back a few more years. He said, we went back to 2017 and we saw the problems developing in 2017. And if we'd had a chance to go back 10 years, we would have been able to see that as well. So for those who say, in this crowd or any other crowd, for those who say that this last board is the one totally and completely responsible, that's a false allegation. Because they say it was happening for the last 3 boards. So that's 27 people. And maybe it went back a little further. And if that's the case, you're talking about Republican-led leadership and Democrat-led leadership.
Mr. Wood, just for the sake of time, and be careful or courteous of everybody's time. If you want to have this at the closing statement, you can, but we gotta get through 8 questions.
Okay,
All right,
can you give me just a few more seconds?
I can give you about 15 seconds.
15 seconds.
Clock on, over there with Mr. French. Go ahead.
Code of conduct.
Test. Is yours working? Try it right now.
Code of conduct.
Here we go. I'll give you mine.
This is
Let me see your mom.
Here we go, there we go. Code of conduct should be gone. I'm in favor of cell-free campus on all 81 campuses that we have. We should have a superintendent that says we're gonna have drug-free campus. Single entry to campuses would be a great one, a great and wonderful thing, but that's hard to accomplish. Fostering socioeconomic diversity, that should stop completely. Inclusivity should be gone, DEI should be gone, code of conduct should be gone. Here's one thing that I'm saying that none of the others are saying, and that is the legislature should redistrict the local Winston-Salem Forsyth County School Board. My recommendation is to reduce it from 9 to 7 members and use the county commissioners model for election as the basis for it.
Okay.
The other thing, and finally, I would
All
say,
right, go ahead.
I'll say it in another.
All right, very good.
answers
Since
to the
we've
question.
had a slight variation of the set pattern here, we're going to limit responses to 60 seconds. So we're still going to move through the 8 questions. We're going to reduce responses to 60 seconds. So we're going to move kind of rapid fire
Go
and pick
ahead.
up the time.
All right, for those in the back that didn't hear it, we're going to make an adjustment and give Mr. Wood 60 seconds to respond to the question. And with question number 1, what do you believe is the top priority facing the school system? And what will be the top priority going forward after the general election?
I just answered that question. Finances will continue to be a severe problem that we have. $46 million is an awful lot of money, but it looks like what people said would take 10 to 15 years, that this school board has already accomplished that for all practical purposes. And we're probably 3 million shy of being back to normalcy. And within the next 30 to 60 days, I think we'll see that eliminated totally, completely. The state board has required and is demanding through what we can say is a soft takeover of the school board, and required us to look at a superintendent, which we've hired, which I think is great, who I think is a great superintendent, and setting the other audit committees in place, which is an outside committee, which is already in the process of being done.
All right, thank you, sir. Question number 2, if elected, do you agree responsibility as a school board member includes monitoring the school system's finances each month and taking corrective action if needed?
That has already
been set in place. We will now have, I think as Susan mentioned a while ago, we will now have at each board meeting a representation of the current budget, 3 figures, the current budget, the amount spent prior to that board meeting, and the difference between the 3. That's already been set in place by this board.
Thank you, sir. Question number 3, what actions should the school board take to rebuild trust with parents, taxpayers, and staff?
The first action this school board should take, and that the new school board should take, is to invite God to be back a part of the dais. The school board that as we currently have it, kicked God off the dais, if I may say it that way. Any board, whether it's a school board, whether it's a commission board, whether it's a board of a nonprofit, the board of a profit, any board of any kind, to reject the potential wisdom from our Creator is not a very wise course of action. For those that are advocates of inclusivity, how in the world do they advocate eliminating the entire community of faith and the people of faith? You leave out of a school board meeting, you drive about a mile west, and there's a church, there's a congregation. You drive a mile south, east, north, there's a congregation, and then in another little while you find another one. So to eliminate that valuable community from our consideration was a very short-sighted, myopic action on the part of this board.
Thanks, sir. Question number 4. The enrollment in the school system has been decreasing. A projection from 2026 to 2033 has enrollment going from 51,000 to under 45,000 in 2033. How do you address this issue?
I think the other candidates have addressed it adequately as far as the reasoning for the decline in enrollment. One of the problems of the budget, the budgetary situation, the fiscal chaos that we had, was that the enrollment for the last 6 to 8, maybe 10 years have been going this way. The hiring practice by those boards, long before this ever board came on the scene, the hiring practices were this way. So if your outgo exceeds your income, your upkeep will be a downfall. This board has learned that and has set in places some of the things to help accomplish that. And I hope that they will prove to be very efficacious.
Thank you, sir. Question number 5. What criteria will you use to evaluate the performance of the current superintendent and senior level staff of the school system?
If he leads us to restore prayer to the school board meetings, if he, the current superintendent, if he will lead us to encourage our legislators, and this has to be done by the legislators, encourage our legislators to redistrict the election districts for the board. If he holds principals, I think one of the key responsibilities of a superintendent is to hold principals responsible, because what happens in each one of those buildings determines whether that's a low-performing, mid-performing, or a high-performing school.
Thank you, sir. How will you handle the pressure, the scrutiny, and the controversy that comes with serving as a school board member, and address the severe financial mismanagement and loss of confidence from the public?
That's a good question. I am an advocate for a chaplain in each one of our schools. Our state budget includes paid chaplains to be in our prisons. I think we need to get at the front end of that and address them not after they're already in prison. I think we need to address them early on. For those people who suggest that pastors and religious leaders, people from the community of faith, are just interested in advocating for their church or for their beliefs, that's one thing, that's one view. But to be so dismissive of the knowledge and experience that exists within the community of faith. I spent 25 years myself in public school and in college and in graduate school and all that sort of thing. There are many out there that could serve. What in the world have we done? And we heard them say on TV since Savannah Guthrie's mother was. Our thoughts and our prayers are with you.
Thank you, sir. And let me check with Mr. Fletcher here. How much time can we allot for the closing statement?
45 seconds.
Okay.
Wow.
We're equal. It's the same across the board.
What am I going to do in 45 seconds?
Throw rocks.
Rocks. I've got that box of rocks with me that I used at the women's meeting. Here's what I'd say. thank you for your confidence in supporting me for election to the board in the primary election and in the general election in 2022. And I would, there are a lot of good candidates here today, and there are a lot of good candidates going to be on the ballot. I encourage you to vote for them. I hope that you'll allow.
Think that one of them. I hope that you think that one of them will be a guy named Wood. So if you could, that is, if you live in District 2, if you could,
vote Wood on March the 3rd. Thank you very much.